Over the past few months I've been cruising my narrowboat very slowly down the Leeds-Liverpool Canal through many locks and swing bridges, taking help when it was offered, to my final destination, Liverpool. However, I'm not going to be going back the way I came. Instead, I'm going to be taking my narrowboat across the River Mersey. Ahoy there, if you're new to the channel, I'm Heidi and I live aboard my narrowboat home, the Rum Wench, with my little dog Bonny. Join us as we travel the UK's canals and rivers in search of treasure and adventure. So I've been up quite early this morning, took Bonny for a last walk around the Albert Dock, which is a wonderful place. I put my hookup cable away and I think my water's filled because I can hear it glugging. Oh. Woohoo! I'm going to miss this place because the best thing about Liverpool is I've had electric hookup, water. It's like luxury, it's like being in a house. It's a secure mooring, so you know, I've got a key to get in and out so the public can't get in here. And then I've got the Albert Dock and all the museums and culture here and all the shops there, restaurants, bars. It's been absolutely wonderful. But today, once I've finished my engine checks, I'm going to be going that way and crossing the Mersey. God, what am I doing? I've already seen boats leave this morning when I was walking little Bonny. They're all leaving on the Liverpool link, going back to Leeds, Liverpool. But I'm going to be going that way towards the Manchester Ship Canal and then to the Shops Union Canal. Yeah, so let's just hope the weather picks up, it brightens up and it's going to be a good day. I just thought as well I'd quickly go in my weed hatch before we set off. I did check it before I came through the docks in Liverpool. However, you know, I may have picked up something and I don't want to be doing this when I'm on that River Mersey. And it's a really good job I checked because my propeller is chock-a-block full of crap. And if you do get a lot of stuff round your propeller, it stalls your engine, and we really don't want that to happen today whilst we're crossing that Mersey. So that's the weed hatch done, and lots of stuff, plastic bags, bin bags. I think that's a pair of knickers. So then, hey, plenty of wear left in them yet. And lots of bits of rope and string and things like that. But that's all done, so propeller's clear, ready to head off. But I've got a few hours yet. I'm not leaving till high tide, which is 1 o'clock, and at 10:30 this morning I've got my pilot arriving, Stuart, and he's going to go through all the safety things and what I've got to do. Yeah, but at least we're getting there. I just nipped to the Albert Dock then to get a fresh croissant for my breakfast, and it's peeing down. It's horrible out there, but I just thought I'd do the old engine checks. She's a 1969 Lister. Perfect. There we go, all good. So remember, she is old and she's got an old mechanical gearbox. She hasn't got hydraulics like most boats have. And this here, this piece of string, this is my throttle. So I'll just show you a little bit about that. So when I turn this wheelie thing, it turns this piece of string, which opens the boat up, opens her up, gives her some welly. And then my gears are on this rod here. So from the stern of my boat, I have to push it all the way forwards, which puts it in gear. Then all the way back to the middle for neutral, and then all the way back for reverse. And remember, my engine's only 18 horsepower, 2-cylinder, but I do have a massive prop. Yeah, and recently when I was on the River Weaver, I was racing some friends of mine. They had a 43 horsepowered boat. Mine's only 18 and I've left them standing, and that's because of my prop. And it's a wonderful thing, but the only thing is, having a big one, is I get everything caught around it all the time. So I've just started up the old girl. The crew have arrived. I didn't think we were leaving till 1 o'clock. We're actually leaving in a minute. It's just gone 10:30. But I feel so at ease after meeting Stuart. He's made me feel so good because it's a flat bottom boat going on the Mersey, remember, and everything that can be done is done. They do it so safely, it's organised so well. Anyway, let's set off. And we're off. So we're just leaving Salthouse Dock now. This is Stuart Wood. He's my, is it pilot?
Yep.
Yep, pilot for today. Where are we going? Oh, we're heading now towards Brunswick Lock.
The first stop, Heidi, is in Brunswick Lock, and they will enable us to get out into the river, and then we cross the river and we go to Eastham Lock, which is the first of the locks on the Manchester Ship Canal.
So let's get ourselves through these docks and onto that river. Woo! We're currently now in Brunswick Dock, and this is the most southern dock of all the docks, and at the end of this is the lock, Brunswick Lock, which takes us down onto the River Mersey. We've passed through several docks en route. And just ahead there is the lock, which is ready and set for us, and I can see a little bit of blue in that sky, so let's hope the weather holds out. So we're just going now into Brunswick Lock, and there's a lot of foamy stuff on that water. I've got some patrons of the channel up there to see me off, and just behind those gates there is the River Mersey. I don't know if you can hear that bridge there, but the bridge is rising as this is part of the lock. I'll tell you what, it could do with a bit of lubrication, couldn't it, eh? So they've just opened those lock gates and the water's rushing in, so we've just got to wait for that to settle before we can then go out onto the Mersey.
Mersey VTS, Mersey VTS, the Narrowboat Rum Wench calling Mersey VTS. We're hoping for a call back from Mersey VTS to tell us what the traffic is that we might expect in the river when we go out there in a few minutes.
Just as the water in the lock had equalised and it was our time to head onto the Mersey, the heavens opened. It just came from nowhere, wind and rain. I put little Bonny inside because she hates the rain. But at this point, my heart was starting to flutter. And just like that, it's lovely and calm again. So it's another lovely, glorious day here on the River Mersey today. And we're about halfway across at the moment. It's a little bit choppy. I can hardly see because of the rain on my glasses. But everything's good, isn't it?
Yes.
Everything's good.
Eastham Locks, the Narrowboat The Rum Wench calling Eastham Locks.
Got my hip flask with me today. I got this off Captain Glenn. It's what we need on a journey like this. I have to wait for Stuart not to be looking though, because he said I can't have a drink on this journey. We'll have a big one though when we moor up, won't we? Things have calmed down a little bit now. It's not raining. So where are we off to now, Stuart?
Well, this is the entrance to the approach channel to the Ship Canal. It's called Eastham Channel. We've got a 2.5 mile channel now to the entrance to the Ship Canal, and they've said keep it coming, you can have the lock when you're ready. How about that for service?
Yeah.
What? Terrific.
So they're getting the lock ready for us now. Woohoo!
Mersey BTS, the Rum Wench, entering Eastham Channel of E1 now, thank you. I think the aerial's wet.
So now the water's got a little bit slack. We're having a bit of a break. I'm eating a ginger nut. And we've also, I forgot to mention, we've got some extra crew with us today, because we've got Roger, who's here. And Roger, how old are you, Roger?
Oh!
Don't you mention it.
He's in his 90s.
94.
94. And he has a boat called Grumpy.
HMS Grumpy.
HMS Grumpy. Was it named after you?
No.
Yes.
I'm not grumpy actually.
And we've also got inside Laura, who's done a lot of sea sailing around the world, I think, hasn't she?
Round the world, yeah.
And my grandson Oliver.
Yeah, so we've got a full crew on board today.
Yep.
It's just a shame about the weather.
We're coming up to a sand barge now. Quite interesting. There's a local dredger who'll go out in the immediate vicinity and dredge sand off the bottom of the river. Takes it into his hold, puts it alongside this sand barge, connects up the pipework and pumps it ashore into a huge lake. The water drains off the top of the sand, and then they go in with wagons and diggers and retrieve the sand and use it in the building process. Really clever. It's free sand, almost, not quite. Amazing operation. As we go by, just a barge on two legs with a big pipe, but it's connected to the shore.
Who'd have thought it, eh? The old Rum Wench has crossed the River Mersey and is now cruising down the channel towards the Manchester Ship Canal.
And we have a bunch of chaps who will attend to us, and we'll tie up with our port side alongside. G'day! There we are, go!
Wanna go on this one?
Yeah, come back on it now.
Then
He's going to put...
Yeah, the post here.
No, stop. Hang on. As you were. Sorry. Just trickle ahead, Heidi, if you would, please.
we're now in Eastham Lock. We've crossed the Mersey. This lock is absolutely massive, and it's the biggest lock on all the locks on the Manchester Ship Canal, bigger than any on the Weaver. In fact, it's the biggest lock I've ever been in. It's a proper big one, isn't it?
Yes, just a bit.
So we're just waiting for the lock gates to shut now, and then we can progress, once the lock's done, onto the Manchester Ship Canal.
And the amazing thing about this lock we're in, Heidi, the masonry, not all of it, but most of it, was first put in place in 1890.
Wow.
Work that one out.
It's nearly as old as you.
Oh, yeah, a couple of years, yeah.
It may have been the biggest lock that I've ever cruised through, but I was made to feel so safe and secure by the lovely lockkeeper Chris, and he was telling me that not many narrowboats do this.
Very, very rare. Usually I'm off work as well when you come in.
So we're now leaving Eastham Lock and heading onto the Manchester Ship Canal towards Ellesmere Port. And not many narrowboats do this, but it's well worth doing, everybody. The buzz of it is just, it's those natural highs, isn't it? So if you've not done it and you want to do it, do it! Book Stuart.
And I'll help.
Yeah, Stuart will help.
We've got the tugs behind us, and they're managed by Carmets, and they offer services to ships coming in up and down the Ship Canal, sometimes two at a time, sometimes just one. Extra safety precautions for the passage in the canal, which is, you've got to be careful, really careful. An amazing operation, but requires care, and the tugs are part of the care package.
Once we were safely on the very calm and wide Manchester Ship Canal, I went down below and gave the helm over to young Oliver, because I did the Manchester Ship Canal earlier in the year, and it gave me chance then to sit down with the rest of the crew, have a coffee and experience it from the bow of my boat, which I never get to do because I'm always the one cruising the boat. And it made such a change for me. I loved it. Approaching the lighthouse at Ellesmere Port, where we're going to turn right onto the Shropshire Union Canal. These ships here, this one here is from Istanbul. Look at that. Wow. And remember, the Manchester Ship Canal never used to be here. The lighthouse was actually on the River Mersey. So we're going to be turning now right onto the Shropshire. Woohoo! So goodbye River Mersey, goodbye Manchester Ship Canal.
Yes.
And a hello Shropshire Union.
That's the one.
So that's it, I'm just waiting here now for the council to open this footbridge ahead of us, and then I've got 3 locks to do, and then I can moor up. Oh, back to the narrow shallow canals. But wow, it's been such an experience. I have loved every single minute of this. I moored up at the top of the locks about 3 hours ago, and young Oliver and Laura helped me get up the locks, which was wonderful. And then Roger and Laura took me for dinner, and it was so nice just to sit down after having such a buzz and a high today and just talk about it all and be all excited again. And the best things for me about this trip was as well the pilot, Stuart. He was wonderful. He put my mind at ease the whole time with the booking process, and also when we got out there onto the river and it was a bit windy and blowy and there were a few little waves, he just made me feel so secure and safe the whole time. Bonnie's having a little scratch there, don't you? You can hear her. Anyway, I did say that I was going to cover some of the costs involved. I think I said that anyway. I meant to say it. So obviously your boat needs to have a seaworthy certificate. Now I got mine done back in May when I did the Ship Canal, Manchester Ship Canal. And a guy comes out and does all that, inspects all the boat. And I think that was £55, but it lasts a whole year. And the sort of things that checks is obviously that your outlets and inlets on the side of your boat or the rear of your boat are well above the waterline, which was a good job for today. And also that you've got enough life jackets on board for the amount of crew, that you've got an anchor. There's all sorts of things that they check on that, so you need to have that. You also need to make sure you've got adequate insurance, the right insurance, you know, to be able to do this passage. Then you also need to obviously have a pilot. I don't think you need a pilot, but I would definitely advise you get one, because Stuart knows where all the sandbanks are. He knows the river like the back of his hand. He's in touch all the time with the ports and also the traffic, so he knows what's going on. So I would never ever have chanced this without a pilot. You also then need to book the lock. So you book Brunswick Lock, which takes you out onto the River Mersey, and you have to pay for that as well. I think that was £25. The River Mersey itself is free, but you also then have to pay the other end at Eastham Locks and the passage onto the Manchester Ship Canal there, and that was about £100. I'll put definite costs in the video description. The other thing you need to do is book with Canal and River Trust that you're going to go through the lock onto the Shropshire Union Canal off the Manchester Ship Canal, and also you book with the council to open the bridge above that lock, otherwise you can't use that lock. So there's a lot of sort of organising, as well as maybe waiting around for the right tide and weather. So, and Liverpool itself is £15 a night, so if you need to stay on a bit longer, you've got to bear in mind that cost as well. So I think in all, it's cost me around £400. So yeah, that's a sort of guesstimate, but allow that in your mind. And obviously if two boats are going together, then you can share a lot of those costs. But I did it on my own, and I felt confident doing that after watching a video from Minimalists. They did it on their own as well. So yeah, that's what sort of did it for me. And I don't know what's for me now, because that's been sort of the highlight of living on a boat for me. It's just been amazing. So now it's back to the shallow canals, to just be cruising along and getting up with my daily week, getting on with whatever happens. Yeah, autumn's approaching, winter. But anyway, it's rum time, so I'm going to pour myself a rum and take you in that rear entrance. So after an epic journey like that, I've pulled out one of my favourite rums, the Roast Coffee Kraken. I think Captain Glenn got me this a while ago, but I save it for special occasions. And whilst I am pouring this, a huge thank you to this week's pirate crew, and also a thank you to my patrons that turned up today to see me off across the Mersey.
Let me take you in the rear entrance to the boatman's cabin for a little
Yeah, Bonnie, you don't give me much room, do you? The Rum Wench is all I can say about today. She made this journey. She is a fabulous boat. And when I did post about doing this a few weeks ago, a few people said, oh Heidi, it's too dangerous and this, that and the other, you should be doing it in a flat bottom boat. Well, if you couldn't do it in a flat bottom boat, they wouldn't let you do it. The Peel ports and the pilot, Stuart and everything, they spend hours making sure that this passage is safe for you. You know, they work together. It's all done properly, you know, and it's just an amazing experience. So I highly recommend, if you want to do it, just do it. It's wonderful. Problem is the cost. So like I said before, it's better if more boats do it, you can share those costs. But I'm going to be working so hard now to try and recoup some of that money back, making lots and lots of badges. But anyway, it was an experience that you just couldn't put a price on, because it was just wonderful. Anyway, cheers. Let's say cheers to the Rum Wench for getting us across safely. Oh, that coffee rum is just gorgeous. Right, I've got a couple of ditties to read out today. It's hard when we're going through the ditties that everyone sends in, because a lot of you comment on what I did last week. So it's no good me doing a ditty that mentions swing bridges or the Dragon of Parbold or something like that. I have to try and find generic ones that will fit the scene that I've just done. So this is one from Hershey Hewitt, I think that's how you say it, and it goes a little something like this. Shiver me timbers, the captain's crossing the river. Me knees are knocking and I'm all of a quiver. But we all know that Heidi will always prevail. She's the captain of the seas, an expert with the sail. Sail? So when you cross safely, all of your fans, they will cheer and take you to the pub to buy you a beer. Oh! Anyway, I did have a beer earlier, but now I'm having a rum. So cheers again. Woohoo! And the next one is from Steph with an F. It goes a little something like this. There is a pirate called Heidi that loves her some ditties. She drank rum from an unusual glass with a pair of, titties. She's always having a laugh whilst making many a friend, with a hoot and a holler around every bend. Her pooch Bonny doesn't lie over the ocean, nor does she lie over the sea. She's at home on the river with her favourite pirate, the one and only Heidi. Oh, isn't that lovely? Oh, so if you do want to send a ditty in, please do leave it in the YouTube comments, and, you know, hopefully one week I'll read it out. But I am going to leave the video here. It's been just an epic week for me, and I really do hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give it a big thumbs up. It helps the channel. Subscribe down below if you haven't already. But before I go, just a massive huge thank you to my lovely gorgeous patrons, and also to Chris, David and Linda for creating some footage for me so that I could incorporate it into the video. So thank you so much. So that's it. So please take care, stay safe. Huge thanks to the patrons.